What's up YouTube, Silver Dragons here, and in this video we're talking about the recent bank failures and how people are looking for a safe haven. They are flooding into the precious metal space. We're now seeing gold and silver prices skyrocket as a result. This keeps getting crazier, but it is only the beginning. Thank you so much for watching my video. I do sincerely appreciate it. If you want to learn more about investing in precious metals, or if you just want to watch awesome videos about gold and silver, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Before we talk about what's going on with precious metals, I do want to talk about what's going on with the bank failures, because this is big news. Everyone's talking about this. There's not just been one or two banks to fail, but now 3 bank failures in the last week. The first domino to fall was Silvergate on March 8th. They are a crypto-friendly bank. They're the 128th largest bank in the United States of America. According to the Federal Reserve, there's over 2,000 banks in USA. So Silvergate definitely was no small potatoes. But then on March 10th, Silicon Valley Bank failed. This is the one everyone's talking about. They're the 16th largest bank in the USA, and this is the second largest bank failure ever in the history of the United States. So definitely a big deal. This happened because of an old-fashioned bank run. People were trying to pull out all of their cash. There was not enough cash for everyone to pull out, so obviously the bank failed. Now, I'm not going to get into all the logistics of how the bank failed because there's so many other videos already covering that. I want to talk about the bigger story here. We've now seen a third bank fail, Signature Bank in New York. This was on March 12th, so just yesterday. They are also no small potatoes, the 29th largest bank in the United States of America. So do you see the pattern here? This is in stark contrast to the last 2 years where we've seen no bank failures. Now, this is coming straight from the FDIC. So in the year 2021, no banks failed. In the year 2022, 0 bank failures as well. Look at this pattern here. 2 years of no bank failures. The last time that happened was in 2005 and 2006. We all know this is right before the Great Recession. Look at this, 2008 financial crisis. All of these banks failed, and we can see near the peak of bank failures, this was also when silver price was peaking. Many of you will remember silver hit nearly $50 an ounce, and this is not a coincidence. When banks are failing, people look for a safe haven, and historically, gold and silver have been two of the safe haven assets that people flock to, and we certainly are seeing that today. As I'm filming, gold is now up over $1,900 an ounce, moving up $42+ on the day. Silver is now over $22 an ounce, jumping up $1.31. This is a massive move for both gold and silver. However, silver is moving faster than gold. We can see that because the gold-silver ratio is declining. So with silver and gold both moving up, is this just the start, or are we going to see them level off and possibly even come back down? Well, I think the answer to that has to do with the Fed and what their response will be to the bank failures. Are they going to continue with the rate hikes, or are they going to pivot, possibly not do a rate hike at all, or even start cutting rates? That will be what will decide the fate of precious metals. If we look at the target rate probabilities for the next FOMC meeting, we can see they now have shifted. Currently, CME Group is calling for a 63% chance that we see only a 25 basis point rate hike, which is not what Jerome Powell had intended to do. However, they're also calling for a 36% chance that we see no rate hike whatsoever. This will be extremely bullish for precious metals if the Fed decides to pivot and not raise rates, because this will effectively weaken the US dollar and strengthen gold and silver. Now, this story is so large and it's continuing to develop. I certainly will have to make follow-up videos, so make sure you subscribe subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of those. But I will say this, the banks failing are just the first domino to fall in what will ultimately be one of the biggest stories of our lifetime. This is going to pave the way for the Fed to introduce a central bank digital currency, and it is essentially complete totalitarian control over the banking system. This is ultimately what they want. They want more control.
So this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause.
They're going to use these bank failures to say, we need to beef up the banking system. And this is going to be the start of the end of our freedom in the United States of America and across the world, because once they have complete control of the banking system, they have control over everything, because every transaction that goes on, they will be able to control one side of the transaction, the money, right? So if you want to, for example, buy precious metals, they could say, nope, you're not allowed to buy precious metals anymore. If you want to buy food for your family or gas for your car, they can ration it. If they feel like you're not paying enough taxes, guess what? Immediately withdrawn from your account. They can do whatever they want because they would have complete control. So I would say it's important to buy precious metals, not only to protect yourself from a banking collapse, but also because of the possibility of a central bank digital currency now becoming more likely. Now, I'm not saying it's going to come out tomorrow. I'm just saying these banks failing will certainly pave the way for the Fed to have more power and ultimately roll out the CBDC. I think a lot of people are waking up to the fact that they need to protect themselves. They should be purchasing more precious metals. The largest online bullion dealer in America, APMEX, just announced it had its best week ever in the history of the company last week. The media is now starting to talk about precious metals. We've seen it from multiple media outlets talking about buying gold just over the last few days. So with the banks collapsing, this is just the start of the end. It's the first domino to fall, and ultimately where I think all of this is headed is complete totalitarian control, central bank digital currencies, and all of that is super bullish for precious metals. Now, I'll be the first to say, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or next week. I don't know if more banks are going to fail or if the Fed will decide to pivot, but I do know this. I'm very happy that I started buying precious metals 5 years ago. I feel safe knowing that a lot of my wealth is not tied up in the banking system or even in the fiat currency system. It's in ounces, silver and gold. I know that I'm protected. My wealth will be protected no matter what happens. So if you're worried about the future, maybe it's time to start buying gold. Maybe it's time to start buying silver. Now, I am curious your thoughts on the 3 banks that failed last week. Will we see more bank failures? Feel free to put your comments down below in the comment section. Also, where do you see gold and silver going from here? Let me know that as well. I want to say a massive thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one. Silver Dragons out.